If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Holographist coach, Christine McIver.
Well, welcome, my friends. What a day, what a day, what a day. And today we've got a hot topic. I don't know that many people actually admit to it or how many people are actually willing to have a conversation about it, but it's a topic you see about all the time, all over social media. This is one of the reasons people hire coaches. It's because they're struggling. And how many of us are struggling now? How many of us are struggling in our businesses, in our relationships, with our bodies, with finances, just struggling? It's a big topic. And tonight we're talking about, are you struggling in your business? Now, last week we had this show, Are You Really Committed to Your Business? And you know, over the several months, many of the shows that I have done are about business, and they're here to enlighten, bring possible new perspectives, open you up to new possibilities, and to really have you look in some areas that you may be blinded by, or just simply haven't had the opportunity to be exposed to, so that you can actually jump ahead of maybe what's going on, something to have you ask some questions, and something that actually will contribute to you having more pleasure in your business. Because ultimately, that's what turns me on and lights me up, is really bringing more pleasure to people in business. If you've not heard this before, this is one of the things that really lights me up. Is, to me, business is pleasure. It's all about pleasure. Pleasure is available to each and every one of us in business. And honestly, bottom line, if you're not having pleasure, if you're not having joy, if you are not actually excited, jumping up about your business, maybe not every day, but definitely more than not, why are you doing it? Why? Because here's the truth. The struggle is real. Business can be a struggle. It's not, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, it's all perfect and easy and blah, blah. No, that's not true. And because life can be a struggle, you've got to find the pleasure and the what's in it for me. Why am I doing this? What is it about this that really has me choose it again and again and again? Have you asked yourself that question about your business? Have you asked yourself that question about your career choice? Why are you choosing it? Why? Is it easy for you to make money? Is that why you're choosing it? But you're a miserable SOB the whole time? There are people that do that. You know, I was in human resources for many years, more than 20 years, and I saw a lot of very miserable people in their jobs. And I often wondered, why would you even bother? Why would you even bother? What is it about being in your business that you would like to choose, right? Like, why? Why would you ever choose to be in your own business and it to be hard for you? Business, your career, your life choices, you're here to be happy. You're here to have a life of joy, and you're the only one that can choose it. So what are you doing if you are miserable, if you are unhappy, if you wish that you were doing something else? You need to ask yourselves those questions. And it's really important that you understand how important this is. So that's the first thing that I want to bring your attention to. And the second thing that I want to bring your attention to is, like, there is no shame in having struggle in business, okay? There is absolutely no shame. And I can tell you, most of us, myself included, have felt shame when we were struggling in our business. But here's the thing. Here's what I really want you to get, my friends, is unless you are a serial business entrepreneur, okay, unless you have done a business and then done it a little bit differently and then done another business a little bit differently, unless you already have a great deal of experience in that business under your belt, you don't know what you're going to experience. You don't know what the adventure is going to be like. So how do you plan, right? How do you plan? Sure, you can take courses. Sure, you can go to school, business school, and all the rest of it. But until you're in it and you face your own belief systems, you face your own limitations, you face your own dance with making the decisions day to day, you don't know. And so you're going to struggle. Now, struggle doesn't mean defeat unless you choose it, right? Struggle actually can be a really great thing for you to understand where you need to be looking, where you need to have support, where you honestly need additional training, education, where you maybe you need to expand your vulnerability. Have you ever thought about that? Struggle is not a bad thing, but most of us believe that when we're in the struggle, it means we're not good enough. And that's bullshit. I'm here to tell you, my friends, that is 100% bullshit. So tonight we're talking about, are you struggling in your business? As I said, yes, the struggle is real. And if you're struggling in your business, now is the time to change that. You struggling is not okay for your business, for your family, but most importantly, for you. My friend, are you doing your business for everybody else first before you? Answering the question, and it doesn't have to be a hugely monumental, life-changing reason, but why do you do what you do? You need to answer that question. Why do you do what you do? What is it that you like? And it doesn't have to be some big thing. It doesn't have to be some something that is different than anybody else you know. It can be something that is very similar to other people. Why do you do what you do? Okay. One of the reasons that I do what I do, first of all, I coach people. I coach people in business and I coach people personally with personal things in their lives. For me, when I'm coaching somebody in business, it's kind of like, okay, I'll liken it to this. And if you've never heard this before, you'll learn something about me. I love, love, love to bake. And one of my most favorite things is to bake pies. It's such a fun thing for me. I was actually going to open a bakery when I was very, very young. I worked in a bakery and I thought, oh, this is what I want to do, because I just love getting in there with my hands and creating something and having something come out that's delicious. And then watching somebody else's face when they take a bite of my pie. Oh, that is the bomb to me. That just lights me up so, so much. And that's one of the reasons that I love to do it. I love to get in there and be creative, and I love to share what I create and see joy come to someone else. That lights me up. Now, why it lights me up and why that's so important, I don't know. I just know what's true for me. And so when we liken that to what I do in business, when something is easy for me, or sorry, let me go back to the pie. When I'm actually teaching somebody how to make a pie and they see how easy and fun it can be and how enjoyable the outcome, the product can be, and how we can have so much communion around that time, sharing together, that just lights me up. I went to one of my nieces. I have several nieces. I went to one of my niece's homes, and she had two little children at the time, and she asked me if I would teach her how to make pies. And her kids were like, yeah, us too. It was so fun. We all had just so much fun. They enjoyed it so much. And now, guess what? They love making pies. Now that just, to me, it's like a legacy. Like, who did you learn to make your pies from? I learned from Aunt Christine. That's fun to me. That is so much fun. And that's the same energy that I get when I'm working with people in business. when I can show them how to have fun, how to use tools that make it easy, that lights me up. It really, really lights me up when I can support someone and show them how life can be pleasurable and how they can change through the struggle of whatever that is into something that is going to contribute to them and make their days brighter. That lights me up. So I know what lights me up. I know what lights me up. What lights you up? You need to know that. Okay. And here's a really important reason why you need to know that. Because the struggle is real. My friends, when the struggle appears itself, and as you're growing, now I want you to understand something. We are all here to grow and learn and evolve. No matter what you do, we all are here to grow and learn and evolve. Okay. So when those opportunities, i.e. struggles, come your way, if you don't have very clearly in your mind and in your heart what it is that you do that lights you up, it's not going to be there to guide and support you through the struggle. What turns you on and lights you up is like a lighthouse. It's a lighthouse in the storm, and it's your guide. It is your guide to keep you moving in that direction. Now, can your desires change? Absolutely. But if you change because the struggle is too hard and you're not willing to challenge yourself, you're going to meet that struggle again and again and again. So I'm here to say to you, don't give up. Don't throw in the towel until you know you've exhausted every single solitary avenue to make it through whatever you're challenged with. Now, here's a really, really, really important thing. And this is why I've been talking so much about what lights you up. If you're in the struggle, okay, if you're in the deep, deep struggle, and this goes on for, time and time and time again, and you're going through the struggle, whether it's a financial struggle, whether it's finding clients or customer struggle, whether it's a way to be able to show up, to interact with your clients, whatever it is, when you're going through the struggle, and if the struggle keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming, and that light keeps dimming and dimming and dimming, and eventually goes out, that may be a message to you that it's time for you to find a new dream, for you to find something new that lights you up. Now, here's the deal. And I know we're going to go to break in a couple of minutes, but this is really important for you to not make a really rash decision. I'm struggling. It's probably not for me. I'm out. Don't do that. Don't do that, because, like I said, that struggle may be there for you to learn something from. Okay? It's kind of like relationships. Relationships is a really good example in this way, right? We oftentimes will be in a pattern, and we will find ourselves in the same types of relationships over and over again. This could be intimate relationships. This could be relationships with business partners, maybe people that you coordinate with. You create different business opportunities with, and you find yourself in the same situation over and over again. Okay, that can very well be something that's put there for you to learn and grow through. So if you run away from it, whatever the struggle is in that moment, that will likely show up again. And that's a really, really important lesson to pay attention to. Like, this is the same type of thing that I found myself in previously. Like, I used to always, before I was in my own business, I used to say, why do I always end up working with the bitch in the office? I can hear myself saying that in the past. And it was like, okay, what is this all about? Because ultimately, we are creating and co-creating our lives and our businesses, right? So it's like, is this here for an opportunity for me to grow through, or have I changed my desires? And if you can imagine, just sit with this, spend some time with this, speak to somebody who you trust about this, play with this a little bit. But if you find that that light is gone and everything in you is saying, I'm just not happy doing this. If you say, I'm not happy doing this, imagine yourself not doing it. Sit with that for a day. Sit with not doing your business anymore and see what emotions come up. Your emotions are actually an amazing guide to help you to know what's true for you. Don't ignore them, okay? Your emotions are fantastic. They're your GPS, and that GPS is really connected directly with your heart. Okay, we got a lot more to talk about. We're going to go off to break. If you are interested to join us in the chat room to ask questions, I would love for you to do that. Come on over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can type your question in the chat room, or if you'd like to ask a question live on air, our producers will support you in order for you to be able to do that. So you are listening to Inspired Choices with your host, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with holographist coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with holographist coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for joining. Whether you're listening live or you're listening in the replay, I'm really happy that you're here. And I'm really impressed that you've taken the time to lean into maybe what's the truth about where you're at right now. I want to recap what we went over in the first session. First of all, remember that business is to be pleasurable. Your life is to be joyful and pleasurable. And if it's not, it's up to you to start to change that. And if you know that you are here to have joy and to have pleasure, and you keep that at the forefront of your mind, all right, as you make your choices, you will keep seeking, you'll keep looking forward for that joy and that pleasure. Remember that there is absolutely no shame in having struggle in business, all right? There are many, many businesses in the world. There's been many businesses. There'll be more businesses in the world. Do not attach your identity of who you are to your business. I did that in the very beginning. And in the very beginning, of course, I was still learning and getting my feet under me and starting to understand how to get myself out there and to get customers and clients and so on and so forth. And I really was struggling, and it was taking a really hard emotional toll on myself, because I thought, well, what will this mean if I fail? What will it mean if I fail? You don't fail. You try something new. Okay? Be very, very conscientious. Am I putting my identity as my business? There are two separate entities. Your business is not you. Your business has come to you to come through you. Yes, please go check out a lot of my last podcasts. It'll talk to you a lot about those different things. But you are not your business, all right? And if your business changes and how you do business and what you do for business changes, that doesn't mean anything less of you, especially when you know that you put everything you had into your business and you were following your inner compass, right? What inspires you? What inspires you is the spirit that comes alive in you when you imagine that you are going to be doing something, when something lights you up, all right? When you are inspired to pick up the phone to call someone, the spirit inside of you jumps up. Yes, let's do that. That's the spirit in you, inspired. That's where inspired comes from. All right. So when you have something jump in you with excitement about your business, you're being inspired in that direction for business. Struggle, challenges are normal. It's what you do during those times that really makes a difference in your life. Are you, on the floor in the fetal position in angst every single solitary day? Is it taking a physical toll on you? That's when it's time to really look at this thing and go, what is going on? Or when you are struggling in your business and you're too afraid to speak to somebody about it. I absolutely have been in that place. And finally, I was just like, it kind of got to the point, and many people do, it got to the point where it was like, okay, if I don't talk to somebody about this, if I don't get assistance with this, it's going to make me sick, or it's actually going to bring the walls in on my business. And so I needed to drop the shame, drop the worry, drop the embarrassment, and be willing to be vulnerable. Oh my gosh, you guys, that was the smartest move I have ever made. There are people like myself that are out here that get turned on and lit up to support you when you're in that space. We are waiting for you. We've got the door wide open, the table set, and there's even pie. Come on over. Let us help you. Think about what you do. What do you do in business that lights you up so much that you will continue to go through the struggle, right? Yes. Well, it's not strawberry rhubarb. My favorite is French rhubarb. And once you have it once, you'll always want to have it. But I can try to do the strawberry rhubarb, no problem. We're talking pie in the chat room. Sorry, guys. But here's the thing, is that when you look at yourself and what you do in business and what really lights you up, can you imagine if somebody never chose that? Can you imagine how you'd be sitting over there with like, I've got this amazing thing. I've got this thing that will support people, that will make people happy, that will bring ease to their life, that'll make things funner and faster and more enjoyable. And if no one ever chose it, right? And you see somebody over there struggling, right? Well, if they just had this mic, if they just had this certain mic, I know that their lives on the radio would be just so much better, right? Let me show you the mic. Let me show you the mic. Are you willing to see the mic? Are you willing to have someone contribute to you so that you're not in the struggle anymore? It's a really, really important thing to understand deeply. Struggle can actually be a really great thing for you to understand where you need to be looking. Where you need to be looking. If you are struggling in one area of your business and you actually understand that, you know what, I've been trying to do this thing, right? Like a lot of people will try to do their own their own accounting, their own bookkeeping. They'll try to do their own taxes, and they'll make themselves nearly sick with trying to do it. And they'll waste a great deal of time and energy in doing their own accounting and their own bookkeeping. And if they were to hire somebody that has the skills and the education, they would have more pleasure in their business. Do you really need to learn all of these things that businesses require in order for you to be successful? Some people, and some people that'll hear this may not be pleased that I'm going to say this, but do you actually enjoy the struggle? Do you enjoy having something to complain about? There are some people in the world that has been part of their life, that, maybe when they were young, they complained a lot and they got attention, or they talked about the challenges they had and they got attention and love. Is that part of your kind of like your DNA footprint in this lifetime? And if that's working for you, keep going with it. If that makes you happy and it brings you joy, keep going with it. And again, this is not going to be a popular thing to say, but if you continue to choose that dance in your life, there is something about that that's working for you. Okay? And otherwise, you would lean in to get it changed. So for instance, if you are struggling in one area of your business, and then you can get together with friends and you have something to commiserate and complain about, right? You're part of the group, right? When a lot of people get together, they're oftentimes not talking about the great things. They're often getting together to get support for each other through their struggle. We need to change that. We need to get together to celebrate with each other. We need to get together to support each other's joy, not support each other just through the struggle. Look at your relationships. Look at the people that you communicate about your struggle in your business. What are they doing while you're doing that? Do they also struggle in their business? And do they commiserate with you? Or are you surrounding yourself with people who are determined to find the solutions, with people who are determined to grow themselves and to grow their businesses? I have been, I've had relationships over the years with friends, with colleagues, and they spend a lot of time complaining and talking about what was not working. And, well, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. And that was their mode of operandum more often than seeking the joy, seeking the solutions, seeking the support, right? And so sometimes we are actually the creators of this great big struggle. And that is an important piece. It's like, okay, there's some times where I will have a conversation with myself and I'll be like, okay, McIver. So this is what I call myself when I want to give myself a little talk. Okay, McIver, so you keep choosing this. What about this is making you happy, right? What are you getting out of this complaining, out of this? What are you getting? And why are you choosing this? Why do you keep choosing this? What is it serving for you? And I will really have a come to Jesus conversation with myself and really look at this truthfully, because you can't complain that you want to change it and then just keep repeating that, right? You have to be willing to say, this isn't working. Okay, so what am I going to do? How am I going to support myself to change this? Here's the thing. There are 8 billion people on the planet. 8 billion people on the planet. There are businesses for everything you can possibly imagine all over the world. Okay? This is an exercise, and after this exercise, we're going to go to break. And if you want this written out, send me an email, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. But I'm going to teach you this because this is something that you can get into your brain to help you with this. There's not enough out there for me. Okay? There's 8 billion people on the planet. Figure out exactly what a service is that for you. So let's say you want to make, I'm going to have to use my calculator on my phone. Let's say you want to make $100,000 a year. Okay? So this is exactly what I do. I'll go $100,000 divided by 50 weeks because we want to have 2 weeks off. right? That works out to $2,000 a week. Okay, divide that by 5 days, because if you're in your own business, especially if you're struggling, 5 days is really reasonable, right? That's $400 a day. That's not a lot of money a day. Now, if you have a service or a product that let's say you have a product, right? And let's say your product is $75, not a high price product, right? That means five and a third customers a day, right? So that is 26 customers a week. That is not a lot of customers to sell that product, right? That's not a lot of customers. So you think about that, 8 billion, and you need 26 a week. You actually need 20, let's call it 27 times 50. You need 1,350 customers a year. And that's if it's not a product that reuses itself up, right? So you need less than 1,400 customers a year out of 8 billion on the planet. This is doable. Think about 1,400 customers in a year in a city even of 25,000. That's still a very small number, okay? My friends, you gotta make the calculator your friend, because you can get so caught up in your mind about the money and there's not enough and there's so many other people out there, right? There's so many things I can teach you about this, but one of the big things to quiet that really loud brain that's fighting with you around the money is get clear about what your product or your service is and how many customers you want to target each day. And then from there, you can set up different programs and different systems on how to target that many people and how to actually start to generate that many people into your business. And that's where you can start to seriously change the struggle, especially from the financial piece. But I can tell you this, 9.9 times out of 10, the struggle is starting within here. It's in your mind. And there's clarity that you require and support for sure. We're going to go to our second break of the show. When we get back, we're going to continue to dive into how we can really change this thing where you're struggling in your business. My friends, you're listening to Inspired Choices with your host, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. I hope to see you after the show. Stay tuned.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices Radio Show with holographist coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you ready to have pleasure with your business? Yes, I said pleasure with your business. The Pleasure of Business a la carte will surprise you with topics like meet yourself in the boardroom, money, services, and you. Expand your visibility. The pleasure of communication. The pleasure of Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Christine McIver has so much pleasure with business and loves teaching all things business. Beginning a new business? Desiring to expand a current business? Or looking to resurrect a business that has been dormant? This program will get you fired up and bring more pleasure than you have ever imagined. Exhausted with your excuses for not creating a phenomenal business? Join now for all the pleasure with business. Pleasure of Business a la carte gives you total choice for what you desire and what your business requires. That's 24 weeks of different topics to choose from with weekly calls, audio and video recordings, and PDFs. This class will have you dive right in and use tools to create the business that has been speaking to you. Go to inspiredchoices.ca for full details or join the Facebook page Pleasure of Business a la carte. Now is the time for you and your business.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with holographist coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my friends. How are you doing? Where are you at with the struggle? Do you find yourself in that struggle? It's so our producer in the chat room says she loves feeling lit up after a massively transformational session. So she works with people and she provides transformational sessions, and ones that really are massively transformed, she gets lit up. So that's awesome that she knows what lights her up. You know, as I said before, we really are here to grow, and these struggles are not meant to stop you. The struggles are not meant to stop you. The struggles are to show you where perhaps it's not your job to do that aspect of your business, where things need to be tweaked to bring you more joy and more pleasure. Kind of like, you know, the struggles are potholes on the road to your pleasure. It's okay. We're all going to have some potholes. And what you do you fill it in and they just ignore it? Do you actually clean things up around it? Or do you ask for support from other people to actually fix these areas of your business? These are the things that I really want you to get, that it can change so many things when you change your perspective about the struggle. So what are some of the struggles that you're finding in your life, in your business, that you've identified that you can't share with someone? Honestly, I really do feel like the shame that we have associated with struggle holds us back more than anything else. You know, we on social media, you know, everybody's always doing the rah, look at me, everything's great, everything's fabulous, right? We don't want to show up. And, you know, I'm no different. I'm not somebody that's out there like putting my dirty laundry, as my aunt used to say, put my dirty laundry out there for everybody to see. I don't do that all the time. I'm more of a type of person that I will honestly gather people around me that love and support me and ask and let them know what's going on and ask for support from them. So most people do that. What they're doing is they're putting only the great things that are happening out on social media. And then if you are struggling and you don't know where to go, you know, many people feel like I can't put that out on social media because I'm only supposed to be putting out there what's wonderful, and what would so-and-so think when she's having such a wonderful time, or so-and-so, and she just went through that. Well, guess what? Get it real, my friends. Listen up. Everybody has struggle. Everybody. It doesn't matter what the struggle is. Think of some people that have been very well known about their struggles, maybe not so much in their business, but in their mental health, in their weight, right? When they look for support, one of my new favorite platforms is TikTok. And there are so many people that will put their struggle out there and people will rally to support them. It's a very different place, and the way that people show up there is embraced in an incredibly different way. And I think one of the big reasons they're succeeding so much is because you don't have to be friends and show your whole life, your whole information out there like you do on Facebook. Facebook is a great platform, and it has served many of us for many years, and it works well, but it's a different way of doing it. Instagram is a different way of doing it. LinkedIn is a different way. Twitter is a different way. And TikTok's another new different way, right? But so many people hold back because they're ashamed. Well, how many people do you know that started up their own business and they were just like, well, this is really easy, and I'm just gonna put this product out there. I'm just gonna put this service out there. I'm just gonna put this class out there, and then I'll just post it once. I'll just post it once, or I'll just post it on my website, and suddenly somebody will find my website. In the billions of websites in the world, my website's just going to pop up, just automatically pop up on somebody's browser window. I'm going to have like 50 people each week that's going to pop up there, and they're just going to contact me, and it's just going to be an automatic yes. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. We do business very differently today, and we can still have pleasure. But we can still have struggle too, all right? It's okay. It's totally fine to have struggle. And my friends, if you are struggling and if you are at the depths of your struggle and you need help, are you willing to put your hand up and ask? Are you willing? And I want you to keep turning this around on. If somebody came to you and asked you for help, would you feel like, oh, what's up with that person? Like they should be ashamed of where they're at. Would you feel that way? Would you turn that person away? Would you judge that person because they're in a struggle? No. Most people in the world, no matter what political, religious, race, color, creed, sex that they are, they're not going to turn somebody away that's struggling. So why do you believe that your struggle is so shameful? Why? If you're in the struggle, all right, there are people in the world that are ready to support you. They're ready to support you. They're actually looking for you. They are looking for you, and they have things ready, available for a fast turnaround for you. A fast turnaround. So if you're struggling with something and you've been struggling for a long time, somebody who's an expert in their field is going to be able to support you quickly. You're not going to come in and lay down on a psychiatrist's couch for the next 3 years trying to figure out your struggle. That's not how it goes anymore. All right. If you've not worked directly with a coach, with a business coach, right? That's not how we roll. It's certainly not how I roll, or any people that I've ever asked for support, how they've rolled. We go in very, very quickly into brainstorming and into ideas and into possibilities of solutions very, very quickly, so you can begin to turn things around or to go in the direction of your desires. Business has so many possibilities, has so many opportunities, and there's so many things out there, so many tools out there, especially online tools to assist you. And you don't know what you don't know. There are so many tools that I use that, I've been in business now for 13 years, and I learn all the time about new systems. Today I learned something new, and I was sharing it with all of our hosts in the network. And I'm like, wow, look at what you can do now. Look at this. How cool is this? And that's something that I do with the hosts all of the time, right? I'm learning new things all the time. Well, if you are in your business, doing your business, right? Whatever it is, let's say you're a pie maker and you make pies and you ship them all over the place. Maybe that's what you do, right? You're not actually in the business tools business, right? So working with a business coach who specializes in that, you specialize in pies, they specialize in business tools, can actually support you to move you forward. There's new things coming out all of the time to make our lives easier and faster. Our team here on Inspires Choices Network, we share these new tools all of the time, and they contribute to the business. I mean, I can remember when I first started the Inspired Choices Network. Well, even before that, I was the least owner of another radio station platform, and we did things very, very differently, but we've evolved over the years, and that has most to do with the tools that are available. But if you're not in the looking for tools business, No wonder you might be struggling to try to do things at the speed that others are able to do it, right? You're over there making beautiful pies. Don't beat yourself up. Hey, I need to know. And it doesn't mean, that you need to take all sorts of courses, that you need to delve in deep into how to do this or how to do that. Hire somebody. Hire somebody that can support you. And if you don't have the money, talk to them about it. Talk to them about it and get a very clear perspective on what that would look like financially, time investment, all the rest of it. Maybe it's not even anywhere near what you're imagining. And what if that would be the best investment for you and your body and your business? Because you and your body are the ones in the business. You're the ones doing all of the tasks, right? And if you have that extra support, it's going to create something very different for you and your body and your business. You've got to be willing to acknowledge where you are, and you've got to be willing to ask for help. You can make a choice that will support you, or you can continue to make the choices that's creating the struggle you have right now. Where do you want to go, my friend? What do you want to do? Be clear with yourself. If money wasn't the issue, if shame wasn't the issue, what would you choose? Have a conversation with yourself, right? So right now we are going to go off to our third break, but what I want to tell you is things can grow and change so quickly, and you can come out of the struggle so fast when you're willing to ask for the support and when you're willing to have your life show up differently. You've got to be willing to choose to change at whatever cost it is to have your dreams and your desires come through. This doesn't mean you have to go and, be in a centerfold. This doesn't mean you have to stand in the corner and give out flyers, right? But what you often have to do differently is communicate what's the truth within you and be willing to look at what's actually going on. Because more than anything else, the energy that you are, the belief systems that you are putting out each and every day in your life, in your business, is what's creating the outcome that you are in right now. I could talk about this subject forever and ever, but we got to go to break. So stick around for our last segment, my friends. We've got more to share with you all about business. And are you struggling in your business? You are listening to Inspired Choices with your host, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with holographist coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with holographist coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Well, my friends, you are listening tonight. We are doing the taping and the live show here, April the 14th, 2021. No matter what year this is, this message stays consistent through the years. It's probably never going to change. The standard of this message stays the exact same. What I really want to leave you with tonight is to know that you can always reach out to me. Every single person I speak with, their first 30 minutes is a gift to them to see if there is a match and to see if what they are in right now, what they are challenged with, is something that I can actually support them in. And if not, I will point you in the direction of a colleague who I believe that can do that for you. But what I want you to really acknowledge tonight is when you are ready to change this struggle, you will have to step up. You will. And is it changeable? Will it require you to change? Yes. Is it something that anybody can do? Yes, anyone can change where they're at with the struggle. The real big question is, will you? Are you willing to do what's required to change what is not working for you? Are you willing to acknowledge to yourself? Sometimes that's the big first step, is being vulnerable with yourself on where you are at. Are you willing to be that vulnerable? Are you willing to really put out there to the world what is happening with you? And you don't have to put it on social media, but really being vulnerable with yourself and then looking at who to communicate with, who to actually be that vulnerable with, to share so that things can change. You know, there was a post that I put out on social media today, and to me, it's so true. When it popped today, I was like, yes, I'm putting that out there. Don't lose hope. You never know what tomorrow will bring. And I'm so excited about tomorrow, because tomorrow in my business, I have a really huge announcement to make. And I'm so excited. I'm telling you, only a short while ago, I was struggling with this area of what I wanted to change. And now here I am, just a couple of months later, during a pandemic, about to make a huge announcement. First, we're making it to our host, and then we're going public, and we've got so many cool things that we've got lined up. But my friends, just like that said, you never know what tomorrow will bring. Tomorrow will bring a change if you're ready for it. Tomorrow will bring joy if you're willing to lean into it. What are you willing to be and do differently so that you can have the life of joy, that you can have the pleasure, that you can really honestly change what's not working for you? There are many businesses in the world that maybe people don't stick with them, but there are equally the same amount of businesses where people do stick with them and they continue to go. And some of them struggle for many years. And when you put your hand up and you get the support that you need, you can come out of that lane and you can come into the thriving lane and the expanding lane and the possibilities lane. Because my friends, it's available to every single solitary person out there. You got to get that. You got to know, that what has come to you for a business is something that people are looking for. Remember, 8 billion people on the planet. Play with your calculator, play with the numbers, and get to know very clearly around what expectations you have, what might be real and true, what might be outrageous, and maybe where you've got belief systems that are not serving you. It's time. It's time for you to have everything that you desire. The struggle will change. It may even go away if you're also willing to change and show up differently. This has been maybe a tough show for some of you, but it's a show that, I'm proud of because I know how quickly things can change. My friends, come on back next week. We got another great show lined up for you. Until then, just hold on to the truth of that. You can always make another choice. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.
Bye, my friends.